Hello and welcome to a brief training video that I'm doing for the 2018 Family Friends of Scouting Presenter training. My name is Josh Whitehead. If we haven't met already, I'm the district executive for Four Rivers District. This is going to be very quick and painless. Basically, we have got this new slogan, Touchdown for Scouting. Everything is Ravens based, so that's cool. Family Friends of Scouting example presentation. A few things that make a really great presenter for Friends of Scouting is you have to have passion and commitment to the program first and foremost. Whether that means you have children in the program or not, all of our volunteers are committed to the program. The ability to tell your scouting story to others, will go into what that means here in just a moment. Your positive representation of the council and scouting. Basically, you're living the Scout Oath and Law in your everyday life and showing it, and you're a volunteer that people look to for guidance in the program, and you're financially invested in scouting through Friends of Scouting, meaning that you've already contributed in some way. You can't really ask someone to make a donation to scouting if you yourself don't give. So, assuming that you've already given. What is Friends of Scouting supporting? So we're training 10,000 volunteer leaders. All these things. These are just things that you can mention in the presentation. Basically, what is their funding going towards? What is their donation going to help? And these are examples of things that they are contributing to. So the quality presentation, pre-presentation work. So this comes from well beforehand. Glenn Zabel and myself have done a lot of this work for you, setting up the date, time, and location. Not all of them have hard dates yet or hard times, but most of them do. Some of them say blue and gold or Court of Honor in February or March. We want to solidify those dates as soon as we possibly can. And if there's any things that you're planning on using, the new video, we do have a new video this year instead of the cartoon. We should have that link out. Ask Glenn for it. He should have it. I'll give you his contact at the end. But basically, yeah, if you need a microphone or if you need AV cable, that's important to have done beforehand. Also, make sure that you get your presentation materials well beforehand. Glenn gives it out to Four Rivers presenters well before, I think like 2 weeks in advance. It's like a plastic bag full of all the materials that you'll need. If you need it, if you need more, you can come talk to me at the council office or call Glenn. Coordinate warm-up email. So we've got this pre-letter. Glenn also has that. I think he's sending that out today to all of his presenters. But basically, it's just a hello, we're excited to be coming to your unit. Here's what you can expect. Here, make sure that you have people there. We want to present to families. Practice. This is very, very important. Go over this script in your head, in the car, in front of a mirror, whatever you need to do so that you can keep this presentation brief. The most important thing and the biggest feedback that I've gotten is that presenters in the past have been very long-winded. We need to make sure that these presentations are no more than 5 to 10 minutes long. Anything more than that, and you're going to start losing people. We want to make sure that we keep that in mind when we are doing presentations. Day of details. This is important. Make sure that you've got this set up as well. Where are you supposed to park is a big thing. What door are you going into? Where specifically in the building are you supposed to be presenting? And you can have all that done beforehand. This is a good idea. Have your scouts, have some scouts distribute and collect the cards. That's a pretty good thing. We'll talk about that in just a second. But Does the unit have an FOS goal? How did they do last year? Mention this if and only if they did very well last year. Okay, don't say you guys didn't do so well last year, but we're going to try and do better this year. Just don't mention it if they didn't do very well last year. If they did very well last year, say we want to thank you guys so much for your contribution last year. We had a great turnout last year. We're really excited to be back and have you guys help support scouting again this year. Prime the host, whoever is hosting, be it the unit champion, whoever it is, to be the first to give after your presentation. Say, thanks so much for this person coming out and presenting this presentation for us. And I would love to be the first one to hand him a pledge card. That sort of primes the rest of the group to give as well. If they see the unit leader or the unit champion giving first, they'll be more inclined to give as well. Showtime. Okay, so first and foremost, thank them. Say, thanks so much for having me, and immediately get started. Don't waste any time. You can put yourself in the audience at ease. Emphasize that you are a volunteer as well. It's very important that we don't have paid employees of the council or paid employees of scouting do these presentations. You are a volunteer. The person presenting is also a volunteer, and you've also got a story of scouting, why you still are active and why you're here raising money for scouting. It's because it's important to you as well. Don't beat around the bush. Say, we're here to raise money for scouting right here and now. Say you've got all of this happening while pledge cards are going out with scouts, preferably. It shows that the scouting program is what's important here. So if the scouts are doing it, it reminds them what's happening, the real reason that we're doing this. Share your personal story. Keep this brief. Why do you give? What is the purpose of you still being involved? Whether that is you do have a youth, a child in the program, or you just love the program. You did at one point have a scout in the program, and now it just means a lot to you, and it's still a part of your life. Show video. Like I said, we've got the new video, or if you don't want to do that, that's perfectly fine. The video is shorter this year than it has been in the past, but still it can be a little timely. So have a note card if you need to. That's perfectly fine. Explain that pledge cards are to be filled out right now. Don't be pushy, but still make sure that it's known that this is something. Go ahead and fill it out now, and we're going to collect them in just a few minutes. Make sure they know the important parts, which we'll get to in just a second. Thank everybody, and then you will go to the back of the room. Make sure that you do not take questions from the stage. It's very important that you don't. Say, I'm happy to take questions in the back. I'll be there ready to pick up any leftover cards. Okay, wear your uniform. This is very important. If you show up in a suit, they won't necessarily associate you with scouting right away. It's very important that they see you as a fellow volunteer in the scouting program. Presentations have to be less than 10 minutes. Otherwise, they're going to get bored. Relax, just breathe. If you're a public speaker, this isn't that hard for you, hopefully. Show your passion for the program. Really, this comes from the story. Tell them why you're doing it, why it means so much to you. Use note cards. By all means, have a note card or 2 note cards if you need them. And the video is a pretty good use of resources as well. It's got mainly it just says like what we're doing with that money, what it goes to. Why are they giving is important. The one scout price is $185. if you suggest that, that's a good starting point for them, because a lot of times they'll just say, I don't know what's right. I don't know what the assumed amount is. What's a good starting point? Go ahead and say 185 is the one scout number, and that sort of gives them a starting point. Recognition items we'll go into in just a second. Encourage the monthly/quarterly pledges for those who prefer. We've got a thing for that as well. I'll show you in just a second. And don't say no to anyone. If when they do ask you a question, make sure that you approach it in such a way that if you don't know the answer, you can give them an answer later. This also applies to not saying no to a unit before you present. So like if you go into a unit that's only got like 5 parents and has never really given in the past and you're not sure about them, don't say no for them, okay? Never assume that they're not going to give, because there's might be 1 or 2 parents in the audience that haven't given before, and this is their first time with a cub in the program and they're excited to give. Don't take questions from the stage. That's a big thing. You don't want to be up there forever. Keep it short, keep it sweet, answer questions in the back. Recognize all the unit leaders for their time and support in scouting. Just make sure you thank everybody. Scouts is important, like I said. If you have them passing out things, it's just a reminder of why we're here. Be personal. Tell your story. Tell the truth. Why the program means so much to you. And here is the new pledge form. This is, a lot of you have done this before. If you haven't, that's fine. If you have, you'll notice a few changes. This year, we've added the express recurring monthly donation, which you will see right here. Basically, what that means is they have the option to put in a credit card number and click a gift, let's say $25. They want to pay express monthly $25, and then they can choose through December 2018, or they can say, I want to continue to give this gift until I say stop. So this is something that hopefully would mean that we have a few people that continually pay through 2019, 2020. There's the traditional pledge, which is just the way that it has been in the past, where you make a one scout investment or a $365 investment. And that's the old way of doing it. The important thing here, as far as your, when they're filling out the card, we really only need the name and the phone number. I would love an address as well, or an email, because that allows me to reach out to them in case they haven't paid in a little while. Payment options. If they have a check, there's not a spot for it here, but if you will also please write down the check number directly under that part, that way we can, in case the check gets separated from the sheet, have that there. All pledges require a signature. Make sure they sign. That's very, very important. Date it, sure, but if they are using a card also, here's the spot for that. So we've got a couple of new items this year. Not really new, but the same items, just in different colors. We've got the patch. This is the One Scout Investor patch, $185 or more. It's the green border. The yellow border, some of you might see it. There's one in each packet. That is the unit champion patch. Make a note of giving that to the unit champion at the presentation or beforehand. Just if you make a note of it, it's sort of a little fun thing at the presentation. We also have this purple magnet. We also have the clings, but I think a lot of more people prefer the magnets, but we've got both for you. The purple magnet is just sort of give them out if they give any donation, whether, no matter how small, just sort of give them the option of the magnet or the cling. We've got the everyday investor, $365 or more. This is the purple pin. Last year it was orange. It's a little crab pin. That's a pretty good one. And then we've got the choice of the bow tie or the long tie, the necktie, for $1,200 and above. So this is a little bit more prestigious. You won't have access to these to give immediately when you do your presentation. If somebody gives $1,200 or more, just say, if you'll give me your address or your phone number, I will get this for you. And I will, me personally, I will have to go check it out from the council office, and I'll write a thank you note as well to give to them. Tallying and recognizing. At the end of your presentation, after everybody's given, tally the results away from everybody, where not while people are still turning in things, but a lot of troops like you to say, basically, we did this well. Thanks so much for giving. You gave this much, and we really appreciate that. If you say, but really emphasize the thank you. We appreciate your donation to Scouting, and we're grateful for your support. So this is very, very important as well. Just make sure that you reach out to Glenn immediately, preferably within 48 hours. Physically hand him that envelope. If you can't do that, there's the bin at the Scout shop, or you can bring it directly to me at the council office. But within 48 hours, that needs to be in somebody else's hands, either his or mine, so that we can go ahead and process it. Keep making follow-up emails and calls so that the money, whether or not they paid, if they didn't, they made the pledge. We want to remember to keep calling maybe once a month, twice a month, to encourage them to continue that payment. We want to make sure that we're sending thank you letters to the unit leaders for letting you do the presentation there. Finally, this is your support system. The district FOS chair is Glenn Zabel. His email is g.zabel, Z-A-B-E-L, at Yahoo, I believe, .com or gmail.com. I can get you that, or rather, I think he'll be sending out this email. My email is j.whitehead@baltimorebsa.org, or jwhitehead@baltimorebsa.org, no dot. This is Jeff Lewis is our FOS person, finance person for the council. So he's a good person to call if you have any major questions. And that is everything. So the main differences this year are the continued payment, the monthly payment, and the changes in the items, the recognition items. So with that, if you will please respond to this email by saying, I have watched this and I'm trained, either to Glenn or myself, preferably both. If you're going to send one to Glenn, CC me as well. And we will have you down for a future presentation. Thanks so much for watching this, guys. Thanks.